Hi, and welcome to Conversations with Cherie, where I have real, relevant conversations with real people. Today I have a very special guest, friend, family, amazing person. So I'm going to welcome this morning Kelly Gibson to the sofa.
Hey, love, how are you?
Good. All right. Wow, got that rise up.
You
I
know
had
it.
to get a little thing going for him.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Good to have you.
Yes.
Like, I'm so excited to have you here
Excited
this
to be
morning.
here
Good
with
conversation. Like, we go way back. I'm like, where do I start? It's usually super easy with most because I can just go right in with you. I'm like going back to playground to, one thing I did think about crazy, just randomly, thought about when me and BJ dropped you off at Maryland. I said, wow, I remember that, and I never thought that life would change just like that for you. And I know it wasn't just like that, but when we dropped you off, it was like a different feeling when we walked back to the car. I know we was young and laughing, we was excited. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, she went to college, like one off our block. She made it to college. That was the big thing for me, to be like, yeah, she made it to college. So everything else was a bonus. Mm-hmm. But, I look at things now. You made it, in a time where there was no social media. There was no anything to say what's promoting people to get where they are. You had the grit. So what was your what made you drive and work so hard?
We had role models on our block. Mm-hmm. And our role models were my grandparents.
Yeah.
They were the ones who kind of set the example. Like, they laid the foundation. Like, my grandfather, hard worker.
Work, yeah.
Grandmother, hard worker. And they passed that on to my mother, to my uncles, to all of us. Mm-hmm. And they were our rock. They were our foundation.
Right. And
so just understanding what hard work I saw it every day.
Yeah.
And so, I followed suit.
Yeah.
I followed suit. And so, with basketball, once the passion came, like,
where'd that come from? Like, when, like, I just know we had the basketball crates. Guys, we didn't have the fancy courts. We didn't have a rec center. We had dust and stones and crates, and those were the courts that we had. So when you first picked up the ball, I know Dion, Andre, everybody, the guys had the game. So what was it that you said, oh, I'm going to get a piece of this?
Yeah, because I wanted to be like them. I wanted to follow them. Like, my brother was, like, I grew up with an older brother.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of uncles and and Dion and Damon and all the guys on the block. Like, I was the typical tomboy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Following behind them. Like, hey, what we doing next?
Building clubhouses.
We built clubhouses. we were outside.
Yeah,
and we
absolutely.
played, football, basketball, baseball, manhunt, mat ball, kickball. You name it.
And where did we have this at?
We just
created where were we at? On Graham's?
Oh, right on our block.
Yeah, on the block.
On the block.
We didn't leave.
We would have races. I remember times when my mother would, like, we would race, like, our block, like, mm-hmm. and my mom was fast. Mm-hmm. She'd take her shoes off.
Yeah, that was the kicker. You took your shoes off.
You took your shoes off, and now you gonna get it. Yeah. And I can see her, like, sprinting, mm-hmm. and against, like, my Uncle Pap, and, like, we had that type of fun.
That I always say this generation missed it.
Yeah.
Because when you hear the word project or ghetto, it's such a hard thing now. But in which would be the projects, it was nothing but love and fun. Like, I don't even think we really knew we were poor until maybe somebody would say something. But literally to know that we were poor and didn't have, we knew we didn't have what other people had. But love wasn't missing.
No.
So love, like, it was like we had everything we needed on that block.
Absolutely.
It was crazy
And
because
if you needed
your neighbor took care of you.
Absolutely.
And I say that all the time. The projects was love. It was
Yeah.
like if somebody was hungry, the neighbors fed you, and it wasn't a conversation about it.
No doubt.
The world didn't know what they did.
No doubt.
How about when your lights got cut off though, and
no
you
doubt.
saw that cord get ran?
Yeah.
You knew, but you dare not say it.
You
You'd be like, oh, and you kept on being a kid.
Absolutely.
They didn't interrupt our childhood with adult stuff. They let us play.
Yeah.
And I told my son recently, I said, let me tell you about greatness. I said, I don't say this because I know Kelly, because we're family, because we're friends. I said, I say this because I watched greatness. I heard greatness in the middle of the night when everybody was in the house and they're telling you, Kelly, come on in here. And all you could hear was a basketball bouncing at nighttime. First thing in the morning, early. And we all used to get up early because we came outside early. You would already be outside. I remember when people would bring groups of people, boys, to play you because they were going to prove. They would walk from blocks away to come and play this girl that they keep hearing that's beating people, and that just wasn't going to happen for them.
No.
How did you feel about that?
Now, it was, at the time, like, I was just playing.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I kind of rewind and kind of process kind of what was taking place, like, I was preparing myself for that drop off at the University of Maryland.
Absolutely.
You know, nowadays, like, everyone has trainers and it's all about, like, this trainer, let me post this workout on this. Like, I was competing against guys, against my uncles, against my brother, and I wanted to compete.
Absolutely.
I was playing, but I was competing.
That was your grit.
And so that was taking place. And, you know, and it was daily. It was every day, you know, grabbing the ball, you know, either trying to go to Ottawa and get shots up, or, I mean, we had courts all around. We made
Glenwood.
it. Yep. And so that training was taking place through play.
You had real life, hands-on training.
Yeah.
You didn't, you know, it's a little more cushy now, so to say. You know, we make it's a little bit easier, some of the kids, of what they have to go through.
Like, walk to the park? Oh,
I'm walking nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, what you mean? Give me a ride. Or I'm not going to work out if they don't do it.
Absolutely.
You know, and you didn't have that. It was nobody posting your pictures going, look at Kelly. Kelly's doing this. Your mind was further from what anybody thought, because when that thing hit here, that was between you and that basketball.
Absolutely.
And it was like the lights came on and you knew your thing. It's like, I feel like the passion has died in people. They want to be like people, but they don't want to put in the time and they don't want to work for it.
They got to fall in love with the process. They want the result versus the process and trusting the process. Because when you fall in love with the process, like, the result is, you know, it's a beautiful thing. But that daily grind, that, oh, I got beat today by my uncle, he blocked my shot.
Right.
Now I'm laying in my bed like, you know what, how can I adjust my shot? Like, so all those things, like, take place when you're going through the process.
Gotcha.
You know, and, like, you know, getting up and it's raining outside. I gotta figure out, like, well, I can't wear those white shoes because my mom's gonna be mad, so let me put those shoes on.
Yeah.
Like, that's grit nowadays, which we want our kids to be like. But for me, it was just, man, I just love this game. I got to get out here and figure it out.
Your thing wasn't, okay, some people, everybody's thing is different. And this generation, don't get me wrong, they are growing up with some things we've never had to experience. And some kids, that's their only way out. That's going to be their survival. They're like, if I don't get out, I may be, you know, in a gang. I may end up murdered. Everything is not always so easy. So some kids have that because they're like, this is my one shot. And if I don't make it, then what? You know? So with you, it was just the passion and the love for the game.
Yeah, and I do think it was a passion and love. And then when you think about, like, pressure, right? Like, pressure to get out, like, pressure to make it. Like, you know, we always say as, like, coaches, pressure is a privilege. And
say that again.
Pressure is a privilege because
I like that.
Now you have an opportunity to test your character. It's like, all right, who am I? And am I going to stay true to who I am, or am am I gonna go and join a gang, or am I gonna, veer left because this isn't working?
Absolutely.
Like, so when the moment of like either you're transitioning from one place to another job or whatever, or you want something.
Absolutely.
Like, if you approach it as in the sense that it's like, all right, this is a test of how hard can I work? Like, how much digging do I have in me? And we always say too, it's like pressure is like the mother of performance. It really
That's
is
crazy.
Because when you're feeling that, it's like it's testing you. Am I gonna stay true? Like,
Yeah.
And it you really that's when it's like, all right, now the results are coming. Like, now I see it now, and so you want that.
Yeah.
So it's like, our kids, it's harder for them. Like, it was easier for us because we didn't have social media.
Right.
We didn't have all these
To make
other
you feel
distractions.
like you're not right.
Absolutely.
And everybody's right and everybody has an opinion.
Yes.
So now it's like your performance becomes based upon what people think about
of you, not what
you think
of
or
you.
what you even know. Because sometimes
About you.
people can, because when you just said something key, who am I?
Absolutely.
Who are you? Who do you really want to become? And
I knew I wanted to become. At the time, we didn't have the WNBA. So my goal was always, I want to play in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I want to go overseas. And so I had a goal.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's like they got to know who they are and what they want.
Absolutely.
Instead of, outside voices saying
like
this
said,
and saying
that pressure.
Oh, man.
And you got to let that pressure be your purpose.
Yes.
Because without, pressure busts pipes. So that means in that pressure,
or it builds.
Because that's what's going to happen with that pressure of something great has to come out of this. Because what I feel and what I know about in my know, it's like, yeah, I got to get this thing. It's like once you get it, and I feel like I'm a late bloomer. Because forever I thought hair was supposed to be my vehicle. No idea. For a long time I thought that was the answer. And not realizing that from teaching came speaking. And my students would always say, Miss Warren, God, you need to be a motivational speaker. And I would get mad because I'm like, go ahead with that. Because I constantly heard that. And it still was years later and it clicked. And I was like, wow. But like you said, I had to realize, figure out. I had to unpack that and be like, who am I? I'm not just Cherie that does hair. That's not me. That's what I did. But that's not who I am.
Absolutely.
So on a journey of who am I, yeah, it takes pressure. And you got to be okay
with it. Because what
all of that.
happens is you're going to fail better or you're going to win better.
Absolutely.
It's and when you lose, you still got better.
Yeah.
Because now you had to dig deeper.
There it is.
Or you go, and then you find out who you really are.
I don't think people are afraid to fail.
Hey,
because
you gotta fail.
They say fail
greatly.
Forward.
Teddy Roosevelt has a quote, and I don't know it verbatim, but there's a piece in it that says you gotta dare greatly. And and it's basically, don't be afraid to fail. Like when you're in your arena, you're going to have outside voices saying this and saying that, but are they in their arena with you?
Absolutely.
And you don't want that timid soul or that faint heart. You want someone that's willing to dare greatly. And you know what? If you fail, guess what? You
put it in.
Put it
try.
in. And you just got better.
Yeah. That is so
now
key.
Now you could take that lesson and go, all right, next step. Because you're living, and you're fulfilling we're fulfilling life. Like we're engaged. Like I know for me, you engage in different emotions and that you may not have. Like you're now it's more purposeful.
Absolutely. It's different.
It's
the conversation is not just a conversation with me anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's different now. And I'm not afraid to dig deep. And if I am, then excuse yourself. I will not shrink or to make you comfortable. Because I feel like that's what this generation is going through. Because if everybody else is not doing it or they don't like it, then this is what's popular. So I want to stay popular. But I promise you, when you fill out a job application or go to college or anything that matters, they will not ask you to check here if you're popular. Check here if you have Jordans. Check here if you drive this vehicle or if you live in this house or in this neighborhood. You have to know who you are in the midst of those things that the world is trying to put on you versus, like you said again, who am I? I just think about so much of the major accomplishments. How did you feel when, okay, the WNBA, how was that? How did that introduction, when you was like, okay, this is it, when you knew that they were looking for you, you knew that this is my time, like, okay. how did that feel?
So here's the story with this. So at my time at Maryland, I actually went through a lot of adversity. I had some surgeries, some injuries. So long story short with that, I went through 3 ACLs. Wow. So I tore my anterior cruciate ligament 3 times. Freshman year, right knee. Left knee was my red shirt sophomore year. And then I tore my right knee again my 5th year. So I had red shirted, so now I had the extra year. So my 5th year, going into the season, I tear my knee up again. That was in 1998. Oh no, I'm dating myself.
That's all right. We good at dating.
So the league started in 97.
Okay.
Yeah. So while I'm at Maryland, like the league is there's the birth of the WNBA. Fresh. I'm like, there it is. Right.
That 5th year happened for a reason.
Yeah. And so when when I tore it, I'm like, man, like, it's gonna be difficult because now my graduating year now is, so 98 was the start of my 5th year. So my graduating year was 99.
Gotcha.
Right. So now the league is here, and I'm like, man, I'm just coming off of a knee surgery. So so long story short, let me rewind. So when I tore it in September, I had surgery, and now I'm back playing in December of 98. I was probably about 80%, 85%. And anytime you have a major surgery, it usually takes a full year for you to fully recover. And so December to our season ending in like March, now the WNBA draft is like April. That season starts in May. Well, I didn't get a call. So I'm like, and I knew it. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, do you just go, okay, this isn't gonna work for me, and I need to figure out a new or am I gonna keep pushing and reach my goals? So graduated, I actually took a leap of faith and moved to New York. And there was an agent who reached out and represented me. Just, that whole year, I'm like, is anybody gonna call? She's like, I knew what she was doing now. Right. Back then, I was just like green, I'm like, all right. So, but she said, listen, we're gonna play in some leagues. There's gonna be some scouts that possibly see you. So just keep doing what you're doing. So I took that whole year and just kind of really worked on my body, worked on continuing to like strengthen my knees, and I had to make ends meet. Right, so I worked. I actually sold vacuum cleaners. I needed cash flow. You living in New York.
Let me just hit that pause for a minute. Because see, everybody thinks that she went to college, she went pro, she went here. They don't know about the middle. That's what we call it in the storm, in the spiritual world. It's in the middle. Is where you put your best work and nobody see. You sit there and say you was selling vacuum cleaners. You was regular.
Yeah, I had to.
But see, they don't survive. They got to understand that sometimes things happen, and all it's doing is perfecting your faith and building your character.
Oh, no doubt.
Okay,
no doubt. I mean, I was knocking on doors, like, doing a whole, like, hey, I was selling vacuum cleaners.
You was working.
I was working. And then I did some temp work. And so that whole year, I'm working, training, playing, working, training, playing. And so my time didn't come until 2000.
Okay.
So in 2000, she called me. I remember I was at the temp agency at the time, and she called me. She's like, "Hey, the Houston Comets want to invite you down to training camp." And I'm like, "Oh shoot, are you serious?" Like, yo, for real? Like, at the time they had won like 3 straight WNBA championships.
Okay.
And so I'm like, when we like, come on, let's go. Like, what's up? And so. And then reality hit, and then I'm like, all right. I looked at the draft. I said, all right, man, they drafted this one, this one, this one, this one. I know how many roster spots they have, who they're probably going to keep, what position they need. It's going to be tough, but you know what? So I packed a duffel bag. I took a duffel bag. I said, I'll probably be here for maybe 2 weeks. And that was my approach, like, initially. Because my position was the 2, so I played the wing, right? So it was Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops.
Yeah.
There was a player named Jeanette Arcane, who's from Brazil, was top player in the world, and we were all playing that. We all played that same position. Another player named Amaya Valdemoro. So the wing position was tight.
Right.
It was tight.
Get in.
So let me rewind back to this. So I was, mind you, I told you I was living in New York.
Right.
So my flight was out of Newark, New Jersey. At the time, Coop had relatives, like a friend or whatever, who lived in Newark. Like, my flight was delayed. My original flight was like delayed or canceled. And so I ended up on Coop's flight. And I'm at my gate, I'm sitting there, and I'm calling my agent, like, back and forth, like, yo, like, what's going on? I need to get down here. I was, like, super excited. Like, this flight has we gotta get there. I gotta get to Houston. So she's like, calm down. Like, I got you on this flight. Just relax. Right. So I'm sitting at the gate, and Cynthia Cooper walks up. I'm like, yo, I call my agent, like, yo, Coop is here. She's like, calm down, rookie, calm down, And so...
Yes, I know you were so pumped.
I walked up to her, introduced myself, and I was like, hey, Kelly Gibson, I'm going to be one of the, athletes down at the training camp. She's like, nice to meet you, da-da-da-da-da, wish you best, da-da-da-da. Time to board. First class, Coop in first class, So, we boarding. She's sitting in her first class seat. I'm back in the main cabin, Yeah. So at the time, I'm like, man. But I was still so excited.
You excited, as long as you was on.
And so, land in Houston, Coop goes like, hey, I could take you to the practice facility. I'm going straight there. I'm like, all right, cool. Her limo pulls up. I'm like, man, this is crazy. So... She's on the phone the whole time, like, talking to her people, and I'm sitting there like, this is my first time in Houston, Texas. Like, this is a cool city, I'm in a limo with Coop. We cruising to the practice facility. So, long story short, get there, meet with the coaches, our operations person. They get me set up in my hotel. Training camp starts, and my first 2 days of competing, I'm like, man, this is crazy, I'm playing against Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, and Tina Thompson's on the team. Like, we had a squad. I mean, these were the best players in the world. How did you feel? I was a little overwhelmed my first 2 or 3 days. And then that competitiveness kicks in, and it's like, I really don't.
I was born for this.
So I really kind of just, like, took it upon myself to challenge the players in my position. And what I found out was, like, they really respected that. Mm-hmm. I didn't back down. I was going to push the players in front. I was going to push, I was going to come to practice every day and bring it. And, so we got down to the last week of training camp, and it was between myself and a post player. And I'm like, all right, numbers game, you know what's going to happen.
Right.
So my agent's like, you're doing well, you're doing well, you're doing well. Just you know, you good. And so I found out that how I made the team was our Van Chancellor is a Hall of Fame coach. He was our coach. And he's from Mississippi, so he has this real like southern drawl. Yeah. So he walks in and he announces who made the team. He's like, guess it! Welcome to the Comets.
Oh boy, what did you do?
I was so excited. I was happy. Like, it was a dream come true.
I know.
It was a dream come true.
Many people can't say that. Some people will never say that. Because a dream is something that you almost are, it wake you out of your sleep sometimes. Like you said, you went to bed saying, what can I do to be better, to fix what just happened the day before? And it was like, no matter what, that dream never left you. And that's the difference between a dream and what everybody else is doing. Because a dream, it'll push you.
It'll drive you, yeah.
It'll drive you. You know, me personally, I'll just say sometimes I feel sick. Because I'll be like, this is becoming a lot.
Obsessive, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You're trying to do this, and you know, and it's questionable sometimes. But then it's like that thing that I'll say, like, yeah, man, this is it for you. Like you found your lane, and I can relate to that now because thinking over years that was the lane, and it's like, nah, this is it. You get in and you kill it no matter. And like you said, turn off the voices of the naysayers. And I think that's key to any type of success, no matter what it is. You have to turn off, because if someone has never done what you want to do, you can't take advice from them, because it's going to destroy your dreams and make you feel like you can't do it. So it's like, your people, I kind of know, but not all. The people that you had around you, your family, definitely number one supporters, wanting nothing but the best for you. So that made the biggest difference. And then when it came to you with your friends and your acquaintances, you had to make sure that they bring value to my life and that they can understand. And I never thought of you as being that concerned if people came or went or stayed or not, you know. And that's always been the beauty. I know a lot of people, I never tell people, and if I do, it's one person outside of God, of who's coming on my show. Because in most people's eyes, I'm going to sit Kelly Gibson now, we're going to just basketball it up. I love the game. Not a player. Love to watch it, love to get involved and how, you know, all of that. But I want people to know the Kelly, what it took to get it. And you gave me that roadmap right there, because a lot of people see and know and they get excited with the glitz and the glam, but they don't know. They see the birthing, they see the after the process. But like you said, in that process is where you're gonna say it's gonna make or break you.
Absolutely.
That's just amazing, because I know a lot of people don't know about you hitting that door with the vacuum. Because see, people want to be great before they're prepared and equipped. And we got to be equipped for greatness. It just doesn't show up at your door, because it takes work.
It's work.
And your mindset.
It's work, it's your mindset, it's your heart, it's commitment. I mean, it's so many things. It's discipline. It requires, greatness is, you know, it's a process. It's a process.
It is.
It's a process.
It's just amazing to you know, I always tell people, or if sometimes someone will bring you up, I would just listen. And that's the same with my cousin that was in Drew Hill. I never would, you know, just over talk it. I just would be like, you know, that was in his life. Like with you bouncing a ball, constantly heard it, knew it. It wasn't something that you woke up and I'm going to be like them. No, it was already there. Like him, it was already there. It wasn't anything that he went behind and had to do. But it's like when you get to see and you kind of know a little backstory on these people, I'm like, you don't really know what it took to come out of these places, out of these, you know, the fears, the doubts, the things that were in the atmospheres that you were in. When we looked around, who were we going to say that we could model the hard work and the tenacity? I thank God for that. because each individual person on Graham's Alley gave you something.
Oh yeah.
And they gave you wisdom. They birthed things out of you.
Yep.
You know, it was like tough love.
Oh yeah.
Boy, it was tough. Because you did one wrong thing, all the other neighbors, that was the village.
Absolutely.
And the village is the things you took with you.
And it takes a village.
It does. And that's the part that I feel so sad about, because the village helped us to become who we are. No matter was a little thing, if you might remember, one person said something like, you better than that. This is not you. They expected so much more of us. And I look now and I'm like, God, please, like, let the people, like the Kellys and the last person I interviewed, I look at how he's constantly building for the Pilar School and all that he's doing. I'm like, that's amazing. The people show up big for our community, for our people, that will be able, and I pray that they're able to receive it. Because don't show up for popularity to say you were in the presence of someone with a big name. Take something from that. Learn to glean from people. Be okay with the criticism and whatever, because it's going to make structure. It's going to build you. I'm just like excited because I'm like, it's not a whole basketball conversation. Basketball is the story behind her. But I wanted people to really hear that grit, where it came from, because our kids and people as adults are spoiled, because if you have 1 million likes, that makes you popular and famous, and I'm like, that's not it.
It's not it, and it's not easy for our kids now. It's not.
No.
There's so many distractions, so much stress.
The distractions,
for them
is a lot.
Being liked, and social media. But I do think like, because for a long time I used to be like, man, like, why don't our kids go outside and play, go to the park? And I do think, like, over time, there's been an evolution of technology.
And that got their attention.
And it has their, like,
undivided attention.
I mean, they can literally be like this all day.
Yeah.
But I do think, we just having this conversation out front, it was like, we know what it takes. The saying, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yep. And can't be mad at them.
Because it's not their way. It's not their world. So I think we have to hold them accountable more.
Absolutely.
With, put the screen down.
Yeah.
But we do it ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they need more attention. They need more time.
More communication and verbalizing things. I had to say sometimes, and we fell away a little bit, that me and my kids, I'll be like, okay, 1 meal a day at this table, no phones, and boy, you should see. And then sometimes they say, well, you gotta put your phone away. Well, my phone will be to the side. They like, no, put it over there. But I want to say, hey, how was your day? Tell me about your day. Talk to me, please. Don't text me. You're in the same room and you're texting. I'm like, no, the communication has to be, I just look at the way things could be, because we have to do more than just have conversations about it. We really have to open doors and make ways for them.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Because they don't know how to change, because this is their norm.
It's their norm. Like, I look at Ashton and Zora. So Ashton's my great nephew, and then Zora's my goddaughter. And like, Zora's 4, Ashton is 6. So Zora is all about her tablet. Like, the tablet is like the friend.
That's
like
my grandson.
I mean, like, the tablet is everywhere. It's like,
they pack the tablet.
Oh man,
they go to sleep with the tablet. I literally woke up, had my grandson. I fell asleep. I woke up. This man was still I said, oh my God. I felt bad, because I'm like, this is like some kind of trance. And I was like, no, it's time to go. Let me take this from you. And I was like, oh my God. So I know sometimes it's like, I go to Mimi's, it's like we in the army, because I just want you. I don't want to miss moments of you, moments of having a conversation with you, moments of you telling me and saying something without technology interfering.
Because you're not present, like, because you have a distraction.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes your attention. And see, with you, like, okay, we had Nintendo, they laugh.
Man, but look, these kids game differently. Like, they game with...
They lose their mind.
They're gaming with their friends, like...
Oh yeah, my son talking to people, and they're gaming
Man,
all
we
night.
were gaming like this.
Beside each other in a whole room,
Yeah.
a whole lot of noise and people yelling.
Yeah.
But you were able to put the game down and say, let's go play the game.
Yes.
And you still spent more time playing the physical game than you did an actual electronic.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, where do we cause that to... You know, that it's crazy. But okay, coaching. Let's talk about you with coaching.
Yes.
Because you went from, I'm over here. I was like, this girl moving. Sometimes I didn't even know where you were until I would see the tags on your car. And that would kind of give me I was like, okay, that must be where she is now. Because I really don't know. And then, like, sometimes my son would be like, oh, she's coach for Rutgers. You know, he was like, so I was like, okay. I said, thanks, you know. He was like, you know Kelly Gibson, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, she's coach. And he was like, yeah, because my dad gave us these shirts with Rutgers. And I said, oh, okay. So that's how I kind of would get filled in on different things that you were doing. So how'd that happen?
Okay. You're like, my dad? I'm like, who?
Oh, not mine, my son.
I got you. Yeah, so let's see. So I started coaching 2005. So right after my playing career.
Right.
So I transitioned right into coaching. I always knew I wanted to coach.
Yeah.
And so fast forward to all my stops. Was at Syracuse for 5 years, Rutgers for 4, and then 1 year just recently at Miami.
Okay.
And so right now I'm transitioning, and you know, a couple years ago, lost my grandmother, who was the rock of our family.
Yeah.
And so these last kind of 2 years have been like the best kind of years of my real adult life.
I know.
Like, I mean, I've kind of really just did like
it's the 40s.
You know, a whole kind of reestablishing my core, like, and I've been here most of that time we had COVID. I mean, there's just so much other stuff going on, but so right now I'm transitioning, but I can say with this time, oh my God, it's been like the best time.
Yeah, you're able to unpack and set goals and rest and stuff. And not be everything is fast.
Yeah.
You're in the microwave, well, gotta have it, gotta be done right now. I'm booked and busy, I'm moving, I'm shaking, I'm this. And the hustle and bustle is like sometimes just rest in it and just be okay with where you are.
Being still.
And that's the biggest thing. And that's funny you say that, because that's actually, that's me, that's scripture right now. It's a scripture that says, be still and know that I am God. And a lot of times you even find people in the gospel, the Christian era, that always got to be moving, and I'm like, why would he tell us to be still if we always going? Sometimes you got to be still to hear. You get to get instructions and directions, and I think that's what you're doing in your transition. You're hearing your next. But if you're not still, you're gonna miss what your next is, because you're too busy doing. Instead of, you know, he called us human beings for a reason. Sometimes it's the being part that we need to do, and instead we're human doings, because we're always doing something. And it's like, the being is where we need to be still, to hear, to listen.
I like that.
Just a little bit off,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, take that nugget and put it
I done got a lot from you, sis, and I don't even watch my own shows. Like, literally, no. I gotta get past it, gotta grow up. Okay. I may watch like the first couple minutes, or I'll scoop through and something else. I don't know. I just want to leave it as it is. It's done. Okay. And because what you do, I don't know. I'm sure you do it as someone that plays sports. You will go back and look at yourself and I gotta fix. Yeah. So it's like I do it, and then I'm like, I can't watch the entire thing, because I will mess up what was already good, because I want to see. And I want to, you know, pick and man, I didn't know. And it's like, no, it's not that. Yeah. I really have to be and be okay. It's weird. I didn't know that about me. I didn't know, and it's like nothing is perfect. Only God is perfect. All I have to do is show up. That's my job, is showing up. My job is not to fix anything, because He's doing it. He's doing everything that I can't do. He's showing me. He's leading me, guiding me. It's crazy, because I don't have a question. Once a name drops for this show, I never question it. I was like, how do I get them? Because everybody has always had a hectic schedule. Each person that has sat here, I've had to be like, okay, well, what about this? What about this? And I shoot them an email, and then I'm like, I don't know. But it always works. and it's when I'm in my stillness and in that be, because it's like I cannot be anybody but me.
That's right.
And I had to learn that over time. It's no, you're not competing, you're not comparing. You know, comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely.
And I will not, because of that, I will not be Oprah. I can't be. I can show you the best Cherie Warren though. I can be her to the fullest.
Absolutely.
And that's what I had to learn is about who I am.
Who you are.
Yeah,
yes.
you bought some stuff. Now, that's why I said I'm gonna watch this one just to say, because sometimes we looked at one thing is it's basketball, but I knew the conversation was going to be so more informative of the backstory. For one, I love that, because people want to see the now. Like, if you know, when people and I said this in my mind, that I know in my heart and mind, I know like people are going to call and want to interview me. They're going to want to know, when I get to this place, how did you get here? And I'm going to tell them I can't just talk about how I got here. I need to tell you about the ride here, in order to make the conversation matter. Because everybody wants to talk about you when things are good, when things are up, when you're in the lights and everybody's like, oh, they're popular, I need to get them here. No, I need to talk about the vehicle that got you here to the greatness. You're still great without the glitz and the glam, but you got to know that you're great before you get there.
Like that.
Girl, don't do it. I told you this. I'm trying to stay in a good zone, but you know, you like the mud pie friend. Like, like it's a lot. Like, like Graham Street is history.
Yes.
You know, I had to tell my children when they were old enough, and they would say, you know, oh, that's my son. That's Kelly Gibson Street, and I think it was Shima, and I thank God for Shima, because she can post them Graham Street pictures like no other. So when I showed them,
she would be on her Facebook
picture,
game, like her morning motivation.
I love it. And see, that's the thing. I have to get back on the book, because I take breaks, because I have to be like, okay, just calm it down. So I showed the children the actual picture of where we used to live, what Kelly Gibson Street was. Oh, their eyes were so big, they couldn't believe. And they was like, you live there? I said, son, there were about 7, 8 of us in a little 2-bedroom. And I said, families on families in a 2-bedroom.
That's right.
And it was so much joy. I said, it's not what it looks like. I said, it was nothing but happiness. Like, I can't look at Green Street and have any regrets or anything. I feel nothing, because that was what made me. That's what's making me. Because sometimes I have to go back to that little girl and be like, hey, what is it about this place that the greatness is supposed to come out of here? Because in reality, we heard things growing up that nothing good comes from Graham's Alley. You know, it's funny, you hear people talking about the hill and stuff, but we got teased because the cats and all, you know, people wasn't coming around there for nothing. They was coming to play ball or something, but no, you don't be around that street, you know. But, you know, I always say God got the final say, because nothing but greatness is homeowners. I look at Dame and Sylvia, you know, you just look at all the stuff, Andre, Dion, businesses. God, he didn't finish by a long shot. Everything that was in that place, he made out of it. You know, we have a choice and a decision, like you said. In that pressure, that's where the greatness comes from. Are you gonna go with this, or you gonna let that thing overtake you? But
we had great leaders on that.
Oh God,
block,
yes,
man.
examples of what hard work, determination,
family,
never quitting.
I mean, just valuing like your family and what that
that
means.
was the biggest thing, was
biggest
family.
thing, yeah.
It's like I think that's why I hold my kids so close, because that was a family. Like, it didn't even matter that I was the only child. Like, I think that hit me as an adult, that I'm an only child. But then it didn't matter, because I had all them siblings all day. So when I went in the house, it was like, phew, I'm all right like this. Because I knew every day these was my brothers, sisters, cousins. They was all what I needed it to be, because we were a family. When one person was in trouble and we knew we were out of order, that one adult could correct the whole block, and all of us would line up and go.
That's right.
It's the discipline that's missing, you know, in the overall of how we're parenting. And it's okay to receive the correction or receive the whatever. You know, I say that with so much love and passion. Don't miss someone's correction to you as an insult.
Right.
It's wisdom, it's knowledge, because they've been there. They're not telling you what they heard. They're telling you what they know.
Yes,
you know?
Yes. It's a difference between knowing and wisdom.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I know, and they think they know
everything,
because they can They have it,
they can Google it. They
right
do it here
there
on YouTube.
So it's no excuse not to know.
Yeah, not to know.
But it's a difference.
But you gotta apply it. It's knowing,
Mm-hmm.
but then you apply the wisdom, or do you just keep saying I know? Because unapplied wisdom is just knowing.
No,
that's it.
That's it.
I know it, but I haven't applied it.
That's
I
right.
haven't used it to my ability to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Many gifts and talents. It's many more Kelly Gibson's on the rise.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, you got to come with the humbleness, though.
Yes. And I think with our kids too, like, there are certain values that we have to keep, but we do have to meet them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's that balance between, and continuing to instill those values that we had, and we know that's gonna, either you can call it make you successful or just live a purposeful life.
Yeah.
But meeting them so they can understand, because connecting with them is completely different than the way we connected.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll make a TikTok. I mean, I love TikTok.
Yes, you do.
But yeah, it's spending that time and just understanding them.
Yeah.
More communication.
It is. I'm learning you got to meet people where they are.
You got to meet them. You have to meet them.
You can't
but
say
you got to be stingy and stubborn to the ways that is right.
Absolutely.
Like,
I like
I'm not
that stingy and stuff. Yeah, that's
bending,
true. Because a lot of people will bend, like I use my word shrinking, bend or shrink to make others comfortable. I'm unapologetically not allowing myself to be uncomfortable to make you comfortable anymore. That doesn't make sense because my main purpose is to please God always. After that, it's like, hey, if he didn't say it, I'm good with a no. I'm good. And that only child now, she's showing up like, yep, this is what it is. And this just might be who it's going to be. So you got to be okay with just this. And know that people going to come and go.
Yeah.
But not the subliminal messages, not to hurt people.
That's right.
Because it's they say hurt people, but healed people heal people. Because we got to stop with that hurt people. Okay, they do. But what do the healed people do? Just sit there, you healed, but you ain't healing nobody. You're not showing love. And change is not saying because I don't do things I used to do, but okay, so what are you doing different now then? We got to do things different. And we have to, like you said, sometimes we got to be stingy and stubborn, but I have to learn I can't be stingy with my grace, because the same grace when I mess up, then I'm like, oh, no, because they should know better. Nah, Mom gets me with that. She's like, nah, the same way you knew better, I had grace and patience with you and God did with you. I need you to flip that around, And one thing, parenting and adulting, like, you gotta know, it doesn't stop because your kids are adults. You just don't parent them the same. But you drop that wisdom, and you don't feel when your children are a certain age they can handle it. They know. No, they really don't know, but they'll follow somebody else's lead, which may be the wrong. Yeah. I'm not messing with you, because this will turn into a whole, I don't know. You gotta get some rise up. Might have to do a drive-by.
I'm good, sis.
Yeah, so you just let me know. This is good. Like, some stuff we're going to have to do for the community.
Oh, yeah,
just
let's
a shaking in the community.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I really do. I like I said, that thing stuck me. It stung me when I saw the behavior. I was like, I don't know what Kelly got on her agenda, but I'm going to need her to, like, get in a place so that they can hear and understand, because I don't want to see those gifts be wasted and ruined because of your attitudes. Amazing. And I know if you've seen them, you'll be like, wow. But then you would see that other part, and only someone that's walked it, they would receive from you. I can only give them the empowerment and this side of things, but we have to, people always say they know people. Well, the people that I know, I want you to show up and stand up and help in our community, because they really do need help. People don't know how to ask for help. People, their phrase that pays in this day and age is, I'm good. That's the phrase that pays. No, I'm good.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good.
And it's okay not to be okay.
Yes, it is.
And it's okay to receive help. When people want to come and say, hey, I got this for you, don't let your pride make you miss your blessing.
Absolutely. So I spoke at a camp, where this is March. So it was last August, September,
Okay.
down at Salisbury, and one of the coaches down there reached out and said, "Hey, can you come speak to my kids? I'm doing a camp." I was like, "Sure." And so I got there. It was a group of girls and boys. So I got there early enough just to kind of get a feel of like the camp, like
Yeah.
just get a vibe and kind of. I needed to kind of understand what my message was going to be.
Yeah,
so I
absolutely.
sat there in the stands and just kind of watched the kids go from station to station and just kind of observing.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was my time to speak, I was like, I got my message. Just sitting there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, all the kids. So the young man, Sean is his name. He introduced me, and so of course when young kids are like, they hear of a professional player. First of all, WNBA players just nowhere near. It's apples and oranges when you compare the salary,
to the NBA,
the bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that was my lane. So I said, all right, I'm gonna talk to them about chasing their purpose versus chasing their passion versus chasing the bag.
Yeah, and that's
so
what we do now.
So I watched a couple of the kids just kind of walk through drills and just kind of haphazardly go through stuff, and then one of the kids had asked one of the counselors, the kid didn't ask, they told the counselor, because at the end of the session they said, you guys have any questions, or is there anything that we could have done better? So one kid raised her hand and said yeah, I felt like you guys should have given us more time with ball handling. So I took that down too. I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this too. This is great. Gotcha. So then the way I started it, my talk with them, I said, all right, y'all, everybody line up on the baseline. So I had all the kids line up on the baseline. And I said, all right, in my bag, I got about $1,500 worth of cash lying, right?
Yeah.
So I had my bag, right? Because the emphasis is bag,
It.
So I had my bag, I had a little backpack, and I said, yeah, so if whoever wins, you guys start here and you sprint from this baseline to that baseline and back. The winner gets this bag. Man, them jokers were like...
I know it.
I mean, I hadn't seen... Instantly, their body language just changed. Yeah. And it was like... All right, well, we ready. I said, hold on. First of all, y'all gotta, some of y'all standing over the line. Start behind the line. So I had to, calm down, start behind the line, get in the stands, get ready. I mean, they were ready.
Yeah, that bad.
So I said, ready, go. I mean, they were, the kids, man, falling across the line. I'm like, so they get up, and it was one gentleman who won, right? So I was like, this is good. This is real good. I mean, I said, you know what, y'all? I sat here for about 30 minutes. I ain't seen y'all work this hard the whole time.
Oh, but you put money on the line.
I said, man, y'all are here at basketball camp. This is a Saturday. I said, I volunteered my time to come down here on Saturday morning to talk to you guys. And you guys are here on Saturday morning at camp because you love basketball. You guys aren't passionate about this. So I said, you love basketball, right? So you guys aren't passionate. You don't love it. I said, you guys want this bag. You're more passionate about this bag. I've seen you work more harder to get this bag.
In this few minutes
than you had the whole time I was here at camp. And so they were just, looking. I said, you guys got to chase your passion. The bags will come. Yeah. But you got to understand your journey and so I talked to them all about that. And it was just they were just man. But that's what they want. They want that they want everything
that
like
instant
this.
gratification. Nothing comes with hard
easy.
work, and they don't really get that. They're like, if I'm good, it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And it will, but you got to be able to be trusted with your gift.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
People think their gift is just your gift and that you can do what you want, when you want, how you want it. I'll pick it up and I'll put it down. No. It doesn't work like that.
So the kid that said to the one counselor, well, I felt like we should have done more ball handling. So I called the kid out. I was like, and it was interesting that you said that. I said, because you were walking from drill to drill. And you know what you could have done? Worked on your ball handling. I said,
What'd
you don't
say?
you don't need your counselor to tell you that you need more. That you don't need your counselor to say, hey, we can do more ball handling. I said, man, I used to walk with my basketball,
Everywhere you went.
working on my ball handling.
Everywhere you
But
went.
if it's here,
Yeah.
you'll figure it out. You'll find a way.
But you said something key, even though it in the form of the counselor and anything in life, you said you don't have to wait for your counselor to tell you to do this. And that's what this is in this
Man,
journey. We want to
kids
wait
wanna-
for people to tell us what to do, what to do, and how to do it.
Yeah.
Look here, this has been an amazing. Yeah, you'll be back. And we got some work to do in the community.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking your time out. And trust, I see great things. I see great things for like you and Andre, and like it's such a different thing that's about to take place. I have no idea, but I just kind of keep seeing that. You haven't been home for just to be home. It's more to it than this, but you laying the foundation to some bigger things too. I'm just looking forward to hopefully being a part of it and working with you again. Definitely having you back on the sofa again.
Anytime, fam.
So thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
Yes.